Good evening, Ohio. James Ernest of The Grueling Truth here with professional wrestler Jake Logan. Jake, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on.
The other day we had a Logan Creed on. I thought of it with seeing the last name. What sports did you play growing up?
Well, in high school, I played football. I was a middle linebacker. I did track and field. I was a pole vaulter and a relay runner. And I did a little bit of powerlifting, a little bit of cross country.
So you sound like a pretty all-around athlete during school.
Yeah, man. Athletics in school was fun.
When did you fall in love with professional wrestling?
Oh, man. I've loved wrestling ever since I could remember. Me and my dad's the one who got me into it. He runs Top of Texas Pro Wrestling in Amarillo, Texas. And before all that, we were living in Hinesville, Georgia. And just my earliest memories is my dad flipping back and forth through the Monday Night Wars and me just falling in love with wrestling.
So is it true you were trained by Dory Funk Jr.?
I was, and Dory, he's a hell of a guy, man. I love Dory to death.
So tell us, what type of trainer was he? Was he very strict? Was he more, what was he like?
Well, when I was being trained by him, I'll backtrack a little bit. Dory wasn't my first trainer. I'd have to say my first trainer was the guy I had my first match against, who was Cody Jones, the son of the legendary Mr. Ebony Tom Jones. And so in 2013, I had already been wrestling for 3 years, and my dad and I thought it'd be a great idea to go over to Dory Funk Jr.'s and get me crispened up and everything. And so when I got there, I had already thought that I was already pretty good, and Dory made me think otherwise. He really did crispen me up. He showed me things in a different perspective. Things that I already knew, he made better, and then taught me such great things after that.
So who was training there with you? Who were the other students?
There was, let's see, I gotta go through my head here. It was, of course, Corey Weston, who is Wesley Blake on WWE SmackDown. And then the others, there was Jessica, the Powerhouse Hill, Hollywood Heather Weber, Ricky Romero III, just to name a few.
Nice. So it sounds like there was a good class there training together.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of fun with those guys.
So who have you wrestled for?
That is a long list.
Just the highlights.
Well, I've done work with WWE. Of course, my dad's promotion in Amarillo, Texas, Top of Texas Pro Wrestling. The late Fred Urban III, he ran OSW in Odessa, Texas. Rick LC, Lubbock, Texas, with Squared Circle Pro. DWO, Destiny Wrestling Organization in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I did Vendetta Pro in Las Vegas. Of course, Bang TV for Dory Funk Jr. Yeah, man, quite a list.
Definitely. I was going to say, a long list, but despite that, not mentioning NWA. You won their, was it their world title or their heavyweight title?
Yeah, so back when Bruce Tharp was the NWA president, I became the youngest ever NWA National Champion in history, and that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments. The only reason I didn't mention NWA now is because it's ran by somebody else, and they don't really consider me, I guess, one of their former champions.
That's some bull. I was going to say, you're on the Wikipedia page. That definitely qualifies you as a former champ, yeah.
You would think so. I've made posts, I've reached out. I've tried to do things with the NWA and just to no avail.
Yeah, that stinks. Sorry to hear they're being that way. So,
That's all right.
So currently, what is the best thing with professional wrestling?
Well, as we're slowly moving through this coronavirus pandemic, I think that the best thing about pro wrestling now is that there's such a wide array of wrestling out there. You've got everything from New Japan Pro Wrestling to, of course, WWE, AEW, Impact. You've got all of it. You've got European style. You've got AAA. All of that, man. Like, there's so many genres of wrestling, so many shows that you can look at, so many things to study and learn and just be entertained by.
What's the main thing that needs to be changed with pro wrestling? Or does anything need to be changed?
Probably drama in locker rooms. As far as, like, in the fans' eyes, you know, if there's anything that can be changed about wrestling, it's just all this dirt sheet stuff, like people trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. Don't even worry about it. Just have fun with it.
Exactly. Enjoy the show. Don't worry about, when you watch the show Friends, you worry about, what Ross and Rachel are doing, not what the two actors are doing outside of the show. I agree with you.
Exactly. Although I would love to have Jennifer Aniston's number.
Oh, yeah. No one's turning her down. Yeah, definitely. Heck, I'll even take Courtney Cox. I ain't picky, But yeah, definitely, what is the main thing you would want our listeners to know about you as a wrestler?
What I want them to know about me is that I'm going to make it one day. Whether you're a fan of me now or you've never heard of me before, please go on YouTube, look up Jake Logan Wrestling, look me up on Facebook, Instagram. Look me up, see my face, know what I'm about, because I promise you, here in the near future, I'm going to be somewhere big in this business.
That is awesome. That's what I like to hear. I was going to say that confidence, that belief in yourself, that is great. Now, switching over to Fighting Words. Who are Fighting Words? What is Fighting Words? Tell us about Fighting Words.
You said Fighting Words?
Fighting Words, the promotion.
Okay. Yeah, man. So this Friday night and Saturday at the Night Tech Sports Arena in Texas, I will be facing Lowrider. I'll backtrack. I'm in a 4-man tournament. It's myself along with Lowrider, Matt Seidel, and Jordan Oliver. And the first round is Matt Seidel versus Jordan Oliver and myself versus Lowrider. And then the winner of those two matches come together, and then whoever wins the 4-man tourney trophy.
That is awesome. So,
and I'm super excited. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, are you already planning on Matt Seidel in the second round?
Man, I've got my eyes set on Matt Seidel. I've faced quite a few names in this business. I've been honored and privileged to face those names in this business, and it would just be another mark on the list and another privilege for me to get in the ring with Matt Seidel. I've given him a little bit of heat over the last few months over Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, but it's all in good fun. It's all in good sportsmanship. I hope he thinks so as well. But I really want to step in the ring with him. I'm a big fan of his.
That is awesome. So that is going to be the first night. Now tell us, more about the Independent Wrestling Expo. What other great things are going to be there? Who else is going to be there? What other fun stuff?
I know there's going to be a couple of competitions, a couple of other than wrestling matches, there's going to be like contests and everything like that. As far as big names go, you're going to see guys like EC3, of course, Matt Seidel. You're going to see Chris Masters. You're going to see Jake the Snake Roberts, Lance Archer. It's Gangrel. It's an action-packed, star-studded event. I mean, you're going to see guys like Jake Logan there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a great event. I mean, you're going to have some great matches, definitely. And then I hear there's going to be some training, there's some seminars, there's all kinds of other cool stuff as well. So it's not just night one of amazing matches, afternoon of amazing matches, and then another night of amazing matches. There's other cool stuff that'll be going on during the events.
Yeah, it's 2 shows. I mean, it's 2 nights, 3 shows. I know Matt Seidel is doing a seminar before the first show begins, which I hope he doesn't wear himself out too much because he needs to save himself for me.
Excellent. And then with that, where can we buy tickets? Is there a good place to get those at?
So this is my bad.
No worries.
On my part.
No worries.
I think it might be eventbrite.com, but
it's all good.
If you look up the flyer on Facebook, you'll definitely be able to see.
No worries. They can get it at Tix. TIX is where they can get the tickets at if they're going to be in Texas. And the nice thing is they have 1-night tickets. They have 2-night tickets. So you can either go and enjoy the whole thing or you can just go and enjoy one day. Just depends on how your work schedule goes. Now,
that's right.
I'm going to give you a fighting chance to get this next one. So where can we watch it if we can't go there? What fighting network could we watch it on?
See, these are details you think they would share with me before I come onto a podcast.
No worries. I was going to say, the nice thing is you can listen to it, and you're not the first one because we've had, I think there's about 6 or 7 we've had on from the event, and it's about a 50-50 of getting it right. Well, anyway, Fight TV is having the big event. I mean, Fight TV, you probably have been on there before with some of your other promotions, some of your other events, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Fight TV is where to check it out. For example, the people that are listening in Ohio or Kansas or Japan that, can't make it to the event, they can watch it on Fight TV. So, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be an amazing event. Do you have a match scheduled for night 2, or is that just the end of the tournament?
Man, for that's the night 1 is the end of the tournament. But I will be there the next day, doing some meet and greets, selling pictures, T-shirts, giving out autographs, and of course keeping a 6-foot distance.
Definitely, that is a huge thing to do with all this craziness going on with COVID. But the nice thing is, Fighting Words has done such an amazing job of crossing all the I's, dotting all the T's, all that good stuff to make sure that it's going to be safe for the fans and for the wrestlers. So, I mean, I had Devin Storm on the other day, and he was telling us all the ways that they have assured the health and safety of the performers and for the fans. So it sounds like it's going to be a great event. So, any final thoughts on Fighting Words before we let you go?
Man, I just, if anything, I want all the promoters, all the bookers, and everybody there to know that I'm super honored and privileged to be, even if it's just night 1, I'm super honored and privileged to be a part of this, and I've been counting down the days for it.
Well, I mean, on the bright side, even though you might only be there night 1, you're going to have 2 matches, right?
That's right.
Because you're going to win that first round, so, you'll be a little wore out after, night 1 of doing 2 rounds. So, maybe you do deserve the night off the next time.
That's right.
Unless
I just decide to insert myself into that NWA World Title match just for the hell of it.
That would be fun. Yeah, I was going to say, being a former champ and all, actually, that was throwing me, though, for a while, because there's an NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and then there's an NWA World Champion or something, right? Where there's like 2 different belts?
No, I think now it's just the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and they've got all the other titles like the national title, the North American title, which to me is kind of the same thing, but they've got the TV title and everything like that.
Exactly. But the way I was understanding, like, Damien Sandow, which is not his name anymore, well, I feel bad for calling him that, and Nick Aldis, they both have championships with the title name sounds very similar on both of them. Because you're the one that you're the one that Sandow is now.
He's the national champion?
Yeah, he's the national champion.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Aldis is like the world champion.
Yes.
That's what was throwing me off, the national versus the world thing. Because when I was looking that up, I was like, well, wasn't Flair? And then they're like, no, that was, he had this one and he had that one. It just made so much sense. Well, anyway, enough about breaking down the NWA and their interesting system of titles. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can people find out more about Jake Logan?
I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/I'm Jake Logan. I'm on Instagram at I'm Jake Instagram at official_I'm Jake Logan, and then Twitter is I'm Jake Logan _.
Sounds great. Thank you for joining us today, Jake.
Hey man, I appreciate you having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Welcome.